We all grew up on hip hop, not just as a sound, but as a spirit, a pulse, a coded message passed through rhythm and rhyme. It was resistance when nobody cared. It was truth when the world lied to our faces. It was survival music. From the street corners to world stages, hip hop was a voice for the voiceless, built on struggle, pain, ambition, and the will to rise above circumstances. So when someone like Kanye West, an artist who once made music for the soul, who stood on stages screaming George Bush doesn't care about black people, who redefined production and lyricism, starts turning his platform into a place for bizarre, overly personal confessions, it's not just disappointing, it's deeply confusing. It feels off, it feels strategic. Recently, Kanye dropped a line claiming he performed a sexual act on his own cousin. That's not just a bar to sit with, it's a red flag, a big one. Not because we're here to police anybody's personal life, but because we have to question, why is this the message that's being amplified? This isn't about sexuality. It's not about shaming. It's about responsibility, intent, and the manipulation of culture. Let's be honest. Hip-hop was never just music. It was always messaging. It was born from oppression and turned into expression. It was how young black and brown kids told the world, we exist, we matter, and we got something to say. So now, we have to ask, what are we saying now? Because it seems like the message is getting diluted. We went from songs about the system, the block, the hustle, the revolution, to headlines about who did what to who behind closed doors. And when it's someone like Kanye who carried the torch of innovation for decades, it feels like we're watching the culture being hijacked. But by who? Let's talk media, let's talk labels, let's talk corporations that don't care about hip-hop's roots, but care about clicks, controversy, and control. They don't want more Kendrick Lamar's or Nipsey Hussle's or Dead Prez type artists. They want a circus. They want shock value. They want moments that get posted, not movements that change minds. You see, Lil Nas X was the first sign of that shift. A talented kid who came up with a viral hit, but the moment he became useful for a broader agenda, they wrapped him in glitter, gave him devil horns, and turned him into a product. His artistry got buried beneath performance, controversy, and yes, propaganda. Not because of his identity, but because of how his identity was weaponized for attention. Now we see it again, but this time with someone who helped shape the very soul of modern hip-hop, Kanye West. And that is dangerous, because when a legend starts playing into the hands of those who never cared for the culture, we all lose. When someone with that much influence puts outlines that sound more like tabloid bait than truth-telling, it confuses the younger generation about what this art form is supposed to be. We're not saying artists can't be vulnerable. Vulnerability is powerful. You see, Pac cried on records, DMX bared his soul. But there's a difference between vulnerability and vanity masked as pain. There's a difference between storytelling and attention seeking. And there's a massive difference between using your platform to expose injustice and using it to expose your trauma for sport. What Kanye said wasn't just shocking, it was strategically shocking. It felt designed, calculated, like someone said, if we can get him to say this, we can move the needle. So here's the question. Why is the most influential black art form in the world being turned into a spectacle? Because a distracted culture is a controlled culture. If the youth are too busy talking about who did what freaky thing on a track, they're not talking about building wealth, escaping poverty, organizing their communities, or reclaiming power. Hip-hop's potential to educate, liberate, and unite gets drowned out in the noise, and the worst part, it's working. People are tuning in, reposting clips, debating shot bars, while real issues are ignored. Meanwhile, artists who try to spit truth get buried by algorithms and executives who say, that's not marketable. Let me be clear, we're not anti-expression. We're pro-culture. We're pro-dignity. We're pro-legacy. Because every generation in hip-hop had to fight for its voice. The pioneers fought just to be heard. The 90s fought for respect. The 2000s fought for ownership. And now, we're in the middle of a culture tug-of-war. One side wants to honor the roots, the other wants to exploit the fruit. And the tragedy is, When icons like Kanye West participate in this shift, intentionally or not, they give permission for the hijacking of the genre. They open the door for a message that says clout matters more than community, virality matters more than vision. But that's not hip-hop. That's not what it came from. We came from broken homes and system failure. We came from red lines, underfunded schools, and over-policed blocks. We came from trying to survive with nothing but a beat machine and a dream. So we have to protect the art. We have to remind people that this genre was our rebellion. It was never meant to be entertainment for the elite. It was meant to be education for the oppressed. If we allow this shift to continue unchecked, we risk losing something sacred. We risk letting hip-hop become the very thing it fought against, a tool for distraction, division, and deception. So to Kanye, we say this: you changed the game before. You gave us College Dropout. You gave us Jesus Walks. You gave us soundtracks to our hustle. But now you have to ask yourself, what are you giving us now? What are you building? And is it worth the price of your platform? Because whether you like it or not, people still listen. And if you've been chosen for that kind of power, you better wield it with wisdom. And to the culture, don't get hypnotized by the circus. Don't fall for every trend or viral moment. Dig deeper, ask questions, protect what we built. Because hip-hop don't need saving, but it does need defending. Not from outsiders, but from insiders who forgot what it's truly about.